Tip top trippers, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. And in this video, with 11 weeks to go to London and Chester Marathon, I'll be going through 3 top tips to ensure that we continue to enjoy our running and training as the build up to an epic marathon. So without further ado, let's go. But be sure to stick along to the very end where I've got some exciting news to share with you guys. And yes, if you are new here, or whether you are new or not, please do give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so, so we can share the joy of running across the world of YouTubes. Welcome back guys. Yes, it's Monday the 18th of July. Yes, I am recording this on Monday the 18th of July. Yesterday, Sunday the 17th, marks 11 weeks to London Marathon, Chester Marathon on the same day. Let us know how your training is going. Yeah, leave it in the comments below. How is your training going? Is it good, different, difficult? Let me know, because I've got 3 tips that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video that will hopefully ensure and help you that you continue to enjoy your training, and that the goal for us all is to get to the start of that race fit, healthy, ready to go. Yeah, 3 top tips. Without further ado, let's go. Tip number 1. Now, I covered this on the Friday fundamentals, literally this Friday just gone, which is the easy runs should be easy. Now, if you want the full details and everything and the shenanigans in there, go to that video and watch that in full, because I cover tips within the tips of how to ensure that the easy runs are easy. Yeah, the long runs are getting longer. We need to ensure that we keep these runs easy. So my first tip is keep your long easy runs easy, and to help us not to reduce the risk of fatigue. So that's tip number 1. Go to that video and watch it in full. I mean, in summary, basically like what I'm doing now, if you're gasping for air, the main key tip is to be able to converse and chat whilst you're running. If you're gasping for air, panting, you're going too fast, slow down and maybe even walk like what I'm doing now. Yeah, that was the key tip. But go to that video and watch it in full, and you'll see all sorts of top stuff that I'm sharing with you, which is fundamental to ensure that we keep our runs easy, because the long run is the cornerstone for our marathon training. Tip number 2, in connection with the long run, as I said, the long run is the cornerstone of training, and that's where a lot of us as beginners, we get it wrong and we don't prepare properly, and things can go a bit askew. So the rule number 2 that I learned from some top professional coaches, what I call the 3-hour rule. What's that? Don't run for longer than 3 hours, basically. Now, there's a bit of, what can I say? There's a bit of tolerance in that, where you could maybe take it up to 3.5, depending on your level of fitness. And when I cover tip number 3, you'll know whether to stop or not. You know, maybe take it up to 3 hours 30. There's a bit of lenience in there, and some maybe 3:45. But the key training for long run is not the speed that you do it in and the mileage that we do. It's all about time on feet. So 3 hours is plenty. And I always go back to my first ever marathon and my longest long run, which I only done one of. And it was around the hills of Malvern, so it was a bit of a hilly one, shall we say, and that took me 3 hours and 5 minutes. So and I'd slow down quite a lot towards the end because of my fatigue, running form and so on. But 3 hours, yeah, makes sense. Now again, it might cause controversy, and there might be some people who will argue, debate it and saying, oh no, I've got to get my 20 miles. Or some people believe they need to run for 26.2 miles as part of their training to believe that they can run the marathon. You don't need to do that. If you want to do that, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to hold you back. Yeah, you know, as often people tell me on social media, I'm entitled to do what I want. That's right, you're entitled to do what you want. I'm here just sharing some advice and knowledge, and what you do with that is entirely up to you. It's a free world. Yeah. So, but the 3-hour rule, there's guys there running their first marathons, and they would argue it and say, oh, I'm following this plan, that plan. I say, lovely. And for example, if you one guy, he'd be out doing some long runs, 5.5 hours, 6 hours. Yeah, got to the start of his first marathon, injured. Yeah, and finished it in about 6 hours. Yeah, was it 6.5 hours? So lesson learnt there for that guy. But ignored my tips and advice. But people do that, don't they? What can we do? I'm not here to convert you all. I'm just here to share my stuff and enjoy the sunshine here in glorious along the River Severn here in Worcestershire, which leads me, when I talk about tiredness and fatigue, it leads me to tip number 3. So tip tip number 3. Should I edit that out? No, let's carry on. Yeah, we do. None of us are perfect, are we? We all live and learn. But anyway, tip number 3. Yes, tip number 3. This is where you as an individual need to take responsibility for yourself with these long runs. Yeah, running form. Yeah, now we all have different types of running form and none of us are perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I did do a video many weeks ago about how to check our running form and is it good, bad, indifferent, and how we can correct it. But we all have a particular, shall I say, shuffle when we're doing long runs. Yeah, I have a shuffle, everybody has a different shuffle. The key thing to look for is after a certain period of time, and not be looking at your watch, but if you feel that your running form is degrading, it's getting worse than it was when you were starting, it's essential at this point, and I've had this tip from many top athletes and even they do it themselves, when the running form starts to dip differently to what it is. Yeah, I'm not saying it's got to be perfect and it comes off from near perfect and you've got to stop, but essentially, yeah, you do need to stop running. So walk if your running form has changed dramatically. So, and that comes in, you know, it's not about the fatigue or tiredness, because the training is to train through the tiredness and fatigue. But if the form is dropping, that means time to stop. Yeah, walk, and then maybe pick it up again once you've got some energy back and see how you feel. But there may be times where you might have to cut it short, yeah, which is fine. You know, that's all part of training. It doesn't mean you've failed or it's the end of the world. It just means we've cut that particular training short and we live on for another day. Yeah, maybe you might have some questions. What do you do if you cut it short? Yeah, leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer. So those are the 3 tips. Yeah, you got that? Easy runs are easy, the 3-hour rule ish, and running form. Tell me what you think in the comments below, and don't forget I've got a special extra at the end here, so let's go through what that extra is. If you've been following my channel for a while, or even if it's just for the past few weeks, you'll know that I'm going through challenges in training where I've not been able to start my London Marathon training as planned because I had a operation a couple of weeks ago. Well, 10 days ago I think exactly now. So, but I'm fortunate enough to be able to walk, so I get my daily walks in, time on feet. Yeah, so I practice what I preach, and despite a visit to accident and emergency last week and having another procedure and fitting added, shall we say, I still continue to do my walks. But thankfully I have been preparing, and you may have seen when I ran the Birmingham and Black Country Half Marathon that come London Marathon, whilst I'm a good for age qualifier, and there are many ways in which you can get London Marathon places, and I'd love to hear from you how you got your London Marathon place. Was it a good for age? Was it a charity place? Was it a lottery place? Was it one of the really lucky ones where you won a competition or from a sponsor? Let me know in the comments below. But for me, I've decided to, whilst a good for age for qualifier, I've decided to run for a charity which is close to my heart, and I'll be doing the launch video of that with the guy who heads up the London Marathon for that particular charity, and we'll be talking through, and there'll be the link there for you where you can help support the charity financially, and also some links where you can maybe help on the day if you want to in terms of volunteering. So I'm really excited about that because it's a charity, you know, Dementia UK, which is close to my heart. As you'll know, when I ran London Marathon last year, literally the night before, I had a message from my cousin saying that my aunt had been taken to hospital emergency, and sadly she passed away within a couple of days of that. So when I was running London Marathon, I was quite upset with that, so I thought it'd be only fitting to run this particular one in her honour, and that's why I chose Dementia UK, because she lived with dementia for a number of years, and I'll talk more about that in the video coming out on Wednesday, and as opposed to this one. So I'm excited to be sharing that with you guys, and I'm looking forward to progressing with our journey as the countdown to London and our marathons continue. And as I said, whether you are running a marathon or not, welcome aboard anyway, you know, and join in with the fun, because it's a great community that we have here on our little corner of YouTube. Yeah, it may not be the biggest channel, but it's the most, what can I say, I'm not your regular YouTuber, am I? You know, 61-year-old running super fast marathons at England Masters level. Yeah, so a bit different, a bit out there, but hey, that's the world we live in. You know, I'm doing what I can, the best I can, and I hope you are too. So love you all. Thank you so much for watching to the very end of this video. If you have, give yourself a medal, and as I said, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe and share the love. If you find this useful, share this with your friends across the globe, and the joy and beauty of running, because with days like today, it is absolutely glorious. So have fun, stay safe, love you all. Peace out.